What is going on, Champion Squad? It is your boy Sultan. Welcome faces back to another Apex Legends video. Today I'll be showing you guys how to strafe like a pro on console. Thank you for joining me, and let's get into the video. The classic strafe, a phrase used in so many Apex Legends videos and is said to be most effective to dodge bullets. But are you strafing correctly or just destroying your aim when it comes to gunfights? So today I'll be going over 3 tips to help you understand the aspects of strafing and how it should be used. And I'll also have a 3-stage strafing course at the end of the video, so be sure to stick around. If you're new here, subscribe and join the Champion Squad. Here you'll find some of the best Apex tips and tricks to make you an even better player. Now let's get into some solid tips to help improve your strafing. Alright, Legends, since pretty much everyone knows that strafing for the most part is keeping a left to right tempo during a gunfight, I'll be breaking down 3 crucial ideas from strafing speeds, strafing at range, and different strafe types. So hopping on board with the first tip, which is strafing speeds. When you're ADSing and strafing, different weapon types will allow you to strafe at a faster rate. The weapon you decide to use will have a massive impact on how well you will be able to strafe. With that said, pistols, submachine guns, and shotguns will give you the fastest mobility when strafing as compared to assault rifles, then LMGs, and finally the snipers being the slowest. The game designs these weapons to be used at specific ranges. That's why close range based weapons like pistols, shotguns, and SMGs have such a fast ADS strafe speed. They're meant to be used close range and will allow you to dodge bullets much easier. So when you're choosing your weapon loadout for the game, you always want to make sure you have at least one close range weapon so that way you can compete against other players strafing up a storm during a close range fight. Now that doesn't mean you can't use an AR like the R301 close range, but you have to keep in mind that you will be an easier target to hit if you're going up against a wingman or R99 for example. Using weapons that have a slower strafe speed close range is where you want to focus more so on your accuracy and hip fire if possible, since your movement will be at a bigger disadvantage. Now let's move on to the next thing I want to touch on, which is strafing at different ranges. Different gunfight ranges require you to strafe more so than others. During long range gunfights, you don't have to be moving left to right like a madman, otherwise your aim will be at a significant disadvantage. So when you're using a sniper like the G7 Scout, you still want to keep some slight movement so that way you're not an easy target for headshots, but you really want to focus on your aim and hitting your shots. Now a good rhythm when strafing during a long range gunfight is to fire a shot when you're about to switch momentum on a strafe. So basically, move left, stop, then shoot, and move right, stop, then shoot. Doing this as fluid as possible will help you land more shots at a distance while still keeping some good movement. Now moving on to medium range gunfights, this is where you want to have some decent strafe movement. Most good players of the game will have no problem landing shots at medium range. This is where you want to become a little more unpredictable compared to a long range gunfight. So you still want to keep that generic left to right tempo, but try cutting some movement shorter than others. Instead of taking 3 steps to the left and 3 steps to the right, maybe take 1 step to the left and 4 steps to the right. It's all about mixing it up as much as possible while still focusing on your aim. And finally, close range fights. This is where things get spicy and you want to be an all-out crackhead. Close range fights requires you to use the most movement since everyone is capable of landing shots at this range. For the most part, you want to be constantly moving unless you're holding down cover with a good angle. Alright, Legends, so now that I've covered the different strafe speeds and how much movement you should have during all gunfight ranges, I want to focus on all kinds of strafing types. While using the basic left to right strafe momentum, you can add a variety of things that help you become more unpredictable. So the first thing I want to touch on is crouch strafing. When you're moving at a left to right tempo, try crouching when you're about to switch directions. Now you also want to make sure you stand back up after crouching immediately. When you're crouched, your bullet spread is much closer together, but your movement will be drastically slowed. So it's all about crouching down at the finish of a single strafe direction, then standing back up when you start to strafe in the opposite direction. Now with crouch strafing, it's most effective during close and medium range gunfights. So just be aware of how far the enemy is while you're doing this strafe type. Doing this will for sure have the enemies miss some shots, but the key thing you have to keep in mind is still being in control of your aim and ability to land shots. Just as movement is so important, good aim should go hand in hand to really improve your Apex Legends gameplay. The next strafe style I want to go over is jump strafing. Typically, this should be used only for close range fights when you're reloading. I can't stress enough how important it is to do this strafe type close range only, since it's much easier to track someone jumping at medium range. Now you can also add in a slide after jumping to keep keep you constantly moving until your reload finishes. This strafe style can spare you some time to reload a mag while still dodging a good amount of bullets. Now let's move on to the next strafe style, which is single direction strafes. This should be done when strafing in one direction towards cover. Now this one makes you a little more predictable, but will help you get a reload off behind cover. I talked about this strafe style in a previous video, but I figured I should throw it in this video as well. So again, strafing in a single direction towards cover so that way you can get a reload off while being safe from gunfire. Now if you aren't doing any of these strafe styles, I highly recommend starting to incorporate it to your gameplay one at a time. I wouldn't overwhelm yourself with trying to do all of these at once. So practice with a certain style, and once you get it down packed, try performing the others. And I also want to mention that strafing should only be done if an enemy has spotted you. Otherwise, strafing like a madman when someone is not looking at you is pretty much pointless. So if you have a jump on an enemy from behind, you should truly focus on hitting as much bullets as possible in the mag until you have their attention. Alright, champion squad, so now that I've covered some strafing aspects and techniques, I do have a 3-stage strafing course which increases in difficulty to help improve your movement and aiming. So while in the training mode, grab yourself an alternator with these specific attachments for the purpose of the training. The 1x classic sight, a gold stabilizer, a level 3 stock, and around 500 bullets of light ammo. Now for the first and second stage, you don't need the gold stabilizer, so just remove it and leave it in your inventory. On the first stage, line yourself up in the center of the attachments on the light weapons platform. Just follow where I am in the video. Now you must kill the dummy with one mag a total of 3 different times while keeping a left to right basic strafe. The goal of this practice is to help you keep good movement while still being in control of your aim. After killing the dummy with one mag for a total of 3 times at that distance with a left to right strafe, the first stage is complete. Now the second stage requires you to back up to the end of the weapons platform that you're currently on. Then you will apply the same plan by keeping a basic left to right strafe and kill the dummy with one magazine for a total of 3 different times, but this time it will be a bit more challenging from the distance increase. So once you can complete the second stage using the same technique, put your gold stabilizer back on for the third stage. The last stage requires you to back up all the way till you see the first piece of grass on the mountainside, so just follow where I am in the video. This distance is much harder, hence why you have the gold stabilizer on to help you one mag the dummy. Again, just as the other stages, try and kill the dummy with one magazine for a total of 3 times. After successfully completing all 3 stages, the strafing practice is completed. Now also bear in mind, this practice can be easy for some, but definitely challenging for others, so be sure to leave a comment down below on how you did on the strafing course. Nevertheless, thank you guys for spending a couple minutes every day with me. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like rating, it is always appreciated. Also, don't forget to subscribe and join the champion squad. We're on the road to 30,000 subscribers. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and as always, this has been your boy Sultan. I'm signing off. Peace.